7 o'clock. Welcome, everybody, to the September 16th meeting of the Orland Park Planning Commission. If you all would stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we'll start off with the roll call. Commissioner Zatar. Here. Commissioner Paul.
Here.
Commissioner Zamparelli.
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
Commissioner Nugent.
Here.
I'm Chairman Parisi. And we don't have Commissioner Schuessler here, but he's just walking in. And he just said, I'm here. Yeah, yeah. Commissioner Zatar, if you just kindly disclose the reason why you're not here personally.
Working out of town.
Okay, thank you for that.
Good reason.
Okay. Well, we've all, excuse me. Okay, we've all received a copy of the meetings of the August 19th meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve that, or with or without any changes.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schuessler,
I have a couple of corrections.
please.
Okay. On page the one I marked up, I don't have. But let me go through here real quick.
Commissioner, while he's looking, I just had a short comment on the minutes.
Please, Commissioner
So,
Nugent.
I just want to point out for the record with it, and we'll talk about it later. Obviously, we've dealt with Pulte before, and then we have the Costco project on these minutes. Page 11 is where we talk about the whole stormwater and the drainage thing and the system and being all set up and ready to go. You know, we're going to see Pulte in a few minutes, but not so much a correction, just pointing out this was thoroughly discussed. It was brought out at the first Pulte. It was brought out at Costco. And now Pulte has to make changes. I just want to note that this was thoroughly discussed in the past. And I don't think we hold Costco accountable for their end of the bargain, but I'm just pointing out that the minutes talk about that.
Thank you.
I'm okay with the minutes.
Commissioner Schuessler,
I'm okay.
you okay?
Yeah.
So your motion to approve as they
I
are?
would make a motion to approve them as
Commissioner
presented.
Schuessler's motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I abstain, as I wasn't here last week.
And Commissioner? Yes, Commissioners Zatar and Sanchez both abstained. They weren't at that particular meeting. Thank you. At this point, I move that we open our public hearings, beginning with public hearing number 2025-0721, Sportsplex zoning map amendment, 11351 159th Street.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Paul. In favor?
Aye.
Okay. Staff?
We're just requesting a continuance to the October 21st meeting for this case.
Okay, I move that we accept that continuance.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let me just announce that the date and time for that continuance will be October 21st at 7 o'clock PM. Thank you.
Thank you. October 21st at 7 p.m. Great. Okay. So I move that we close public hearing number 2025-0721.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul, in favor?
Aye.
I move that we open public hearing number 2024-0676, the Estates of Ravinia Meadows, a special use permit amendment for a residential land development.
Second.
And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So anybody who comes up to the mic, we will swear you in, and we need to, if you could speak into the mic, because this meeting is being recorded.
Go ahead. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you present tonight will be the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
And your name and position and address?
Yep, my name is Fabian Fondriest. I'm the land acquisition manager at Pulte Homes. Our address is 1900 East Gulf Road in Schaumburg, and the zip is 60173. So,
Okay.
so I'm, like I said, Fabian Fondriest. I'm with Pulte Homes. It's very nice to be back here and see you all again here. This will be a very brief presentation, just updating the minor alterations to Estates of Ravinia Meadow. So again, what we're talking about is 72 vacant acres just off the southwest corner of 159th and LaGrange. And right now, what you're looking at is the contrast between our two plans. So I was back here in January and February earlier this year for the plan that's grayed out on your left there. That was for 132 units. I'm back here tonight for a 129 unit plan. The accommodation is we're losing those 3 lots that are outlined in pink right off of our entrance to accommodate the stormwater BMP that is now going to be entirely on our property. Nothing else in the plan changes, no elevation changes, no lot size changes, everything else stays the same.
Thank you so much.
Yep, that's it. I can wrap up there.
Okay.
So, happy to answer any questions, but that's it.
Okay. No, that's it. We have any questions? Again, you have to come up to the mic. Staff?
We have a report, pulling it up shortly. I'd like to begin by requesting the staff report be entered into the record as written and as presented. And as Fabian just brought us up to speed here, Pulte is back in front of this commission to request an amendment to their special use permit that was granted back in February of this year. The development remains by and large the same, except that Pulte is reducing the number of units from 132 to 129. No other changes to the previously approved plan development is being requested at this time. A quick background information on the project. The previously approved special use permit relied on an agreement between Costco and Pulte to allow the stormwater from the northern portion of the Pulte site to drain into Costco's pond. MWRD required that Pulte provide the volume control for the northern portion of the property, and Pulte was going to provide this on a Costco outlot. Unfortunately, Costco and Pulte weren't able to reach an agreement in this regard, so Pulte has modified their plans to provide the required volume control in the form of a bioswale right on the Pulte property, eliminating the need for the agreement with Costco. So what you're seeing here to the left is the entire site plan, and the 2 smaller plans show that the outlot B is being expanded to provide the volume control needed to be able to flow into Costco's pond. And just the expansion of this outlot meant that 3 lots are being removed from Pulte's plan. There are no other changes, floor plans, building elevations, circulation, setbacks, lot sizes, everything stays the same. There was a previously approved modification for a reduction in the lot sizes, the widths, and that still stays the same. There's no change to that either. The density, the previously approved density was 2.35 dwelling units per net acre. That drops to 2.3 with this change. There's an increase in the common open space. because, the outlot B is being expanded, and there's no change to the lot coverage requirements that's being proposed here. So this is a brief overview of the stormwater management. Again, outlot B up north provides the stormwater control for the northern portion of the site, and the two ponds to the southern portion of the site, they're the stormwater management facilities for the lower half of the site. The engineering plan, the preliminary civil engineering plan has been recommended for approval. There will be an establishment of a special service area for the stormwater management that will be required after board approval. The landscape plan also has been recommended for preliminary approval. Any outstanding landscape items will be addressed after board approval. Lastly, the petitioner seeks approval of a plat of subdivision for the planned development. All lot sizes conform to the requirements outlined in the code, and the final plat will be approved by the Board of Trustees. So the requested actions in this petition include approval of a special use amendment for a residential plan development, an updated site plan, landscape plan, and plat of subdivision. A special use permit for a disturbance of a non-tidal wetland, building elevations and modifications were previously approved. Regarding case number 2024-0676, also known as the Estates of Ravinia Meadows, staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated September 16, 2025. Staff recommends approval of the special use amendment for a residential plan development, approval of the preliminary site plan, landscape plan, engineering plan, building elevations, subject to standard conditions. This concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you very much. I see we have a couple of gentlemen in the back row. Anybody here from the public for the purpose of this particular proposal? No? Okay, thank you. I'll go to my commissioners now for any comments or suggestions. Commissioner Zatar.
No, I have no comments. It's very well, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Commissioner Sanchez.
I agree. As John mentioned, we kind of already went through the plan, already approved it, so no questions or concerns about this.
Commissioner Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think this makes sense. This was the big hangup. Costco, Pulte, fighting over who's going to do what. That's what business is about. You guys negotiated it the best you could. This seems to be the best outcome. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Commissioner Zamparelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's pretty cut and dry. I just want to clarify, though, really nothing changed. It was just Costco was doing what they were going to do, and Pulte was going to do what they were going to do. You just didn't have enough space in there, right? For that little extra retention to hold that water back? Is it?
Exactly. So just the area required for the BMP, we were going to have it split across our property a little bit on Costco's. That's a whole separate agreement that we, as staff, noted we couldn't come to. So now it's on our side completely.
I mean, it's a shame. I mean, 3 lots, that's a lot of money, but it is what it is.
And I want to come back here, so I'll just find the next site. Exactly.
Excellent. As long as you're smiling, I'm smiling. So perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Nugent?
No, I mean, it is straightforward, it is common, but there are things to note as consequences. The village is losing 3 families will not be living here. In today's rates, each of these lots would be paying about $15,000 in property taxes. So that's $45,000 in annual property taxes that we're going to lose. Pulte was going to have to work with some of the costs on Costco, but Pulte now is going to have even more costs than they expected there. Pulte in February said that they planned by mid-August that they would be moving earth and putting in streets. So they're minimum 1 month behind. And we know from other developments, it's a little bit critical. I don't know, are you even going to start moving dirt this year?
Yeah, our goal is to start moving dirt right away.
All right.
So hopefully this
They were
month.
hoping to have sales going, and so you're behind on that.
Yes.
And so it's a setback, and Pulte works on formulas. You guys know when you're going to sell them and when you're going to build them, and you have that pre-planned like your Lamont project. I just want to point out, that was a few, at the end of February's meeting, it was a little surprising for me and a lot of the people here, and we were questioning you guys, it just didn't seem fair to Pulte that we were passing that approval, and there was doubts of what Costco was working with and agreeing to. Pointed it out. Dina, you're here, you guys can look at the minutes from our meeting, and then it passed on to you. I thought Pulte was entitled to in February to have clarity on the pond and the engineering at the time of their approval. They spent well over a year to get to the point with a presentation. Now they've had to spend money with the architect, they've had to spend money with staff, they've lost time frame to accommodate. You're being nice, Costco not agreeing. And Costco just got an agreement, and Costco, I think, knew when we voted on them recently that they weren't agreeing with Pulte. You know, maybe I'm making them more of a bad guy than they are, but, you know, it does reduce density, but not because you want it to, and you guys, you know, you were maximizing by getting your lot size smaller. So I don't have questions, I guess, so I'm pontificating, but I think these are important notes and things to note. We're not often gonna have two partners, especially two national partners, meeting up at the same spot. But this is about a lack of a cooperation from Costco. This isn't a matter of just, oh, the soil's not right. Pulte is losing 3 lots. They're losing 3 profit margins on those houses. They're adding additional costs, and they lost time frame. This is a big loss for Pulte. It's 0 loss for Costco. And I just felt like those ducks should have been in a row for February, and they should have been for Costco. But I have no further questions.
Thank you for your comments, and
Commentary.
I will in commentary. And I will also add that in all their years here too, Costco's been a very good corporate citizen
They are.
for the
and we
village.
acknowledge that.
Okay, Commissioner Schuessler.
What was the reason that you couldn't reach agreement with Costco?
Just in terms of what that agreement would look like, because as we would need to be taking their land, they were going to plat it out and then dedicate it over to us, and just what that actual legal contract looked like, we couldn't come to terms on that. So, again, I like Costco. I filled up my car at Kirkland Gas today, so you know these things happen. But we found a solution that works, and you know.
Was
we're
it a
still
matter
happy
of
with
dollars and cents where what they wanted you to do was going to cost A and what you're doing now is B, and B was a cheaper fix?
cheaper, but and then also just time. I mean, we're going to lose time on the agreement, and so yep, it was just we want to get going here, and this was the most
Okay,
efficient solution.
that really doesn't matter what we're going to do tonight. Question for staff having to do with water. At the prior Pulte hearing, again at the Costco hearing, it was brought out and clearly stated that there's a problem with the Costco pond, except I think you call it an SMF, right? Stormwater Management Facility.
That's correct.
In that they have not been properly maintaining that, and that has resulted in some backup of stormwater to the east over to the Shermack property. The Shermacks were indicating they were having water problems because it wasn't flowing into the pond and then into Marley Creek. Anyway, my question for staff is, what are you going to do to make sure that Costco fixes the pond when they do their project with the gas facility?
I'll defer to Aladdin.
So just first on the point with Shermack, I mean, I know Mr. Shermack brought that up, but we haven't seen any evidence that the pond was actually backing into his property. His property is on, his property does have wetlands, low-lying areas, so when it rains, it might just tend to stay there. As for what we're going to do with Costco, so they got their preliminary engineering approval. As they're going through final engineering, they're going to submit revised plans to us for basically what Pulte was going to do to the pond. Pulte, as part of this agreement, was going to dredge the pond and restore the pond to its original limits.
Costco is not going to do that, and
Costco is
and
not
you're
going
going to
to.
make sure they do it.
Correct.
And while that's,
I have one more
Mike,
question.
yeah, I just want to ask them, while that's not related to this petition, when they do come to, it'll come back before us, won't it? When they do come to some agreement, what they're going to do with that water retention? It'll come back to us.
For Costco, yes,
Yeah, okay, so
their
we'll get
final
to-
ordinance
Oh.
requires them
Okay,
to
yeah, just
complete the stormwater
Yeah, I
management.
just want to make sure that, you know, as Commissioner Schubert would like to see that we, you know, we make sure we,
I just want to make sure the pond is fixed. I'm
Right,
sure we all
exactly.
do. A second question related to this, but not directly to, well, sort of indirectly to Pulte, because it will help them better access. What's the status on getting Ravinia extended over to Grange Road?
So that's a project that we have a consultant for. They're working on the design now. And then there's going to be some land acquisition with it. The goal would be to let it late next year, I believe. But
Okay, so then what you're saying is, well, one additional question. Have there been any negotiations with the Shermacks with regard to dedicating the property so that they would have access to LaGrange Road for their property?
there's been preliminary conversations.
Okay, so if they
that
don't,
I'm not
if
privy
they,
to
if
be
they
honest.
don't do that, then the plan is to go ahead and acquire the property by eminent domain. You're doing the engineering to figure out what you need and so on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
thank you.
fine. That'll help the Pulte project too. It'll give you access from the east. So, I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing to add. I think we've discussed it thoroughly, and at this point, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schuster.
regarding case number 2024-0676, also known as Estates at Ravinia Meadows, move to approve the staff recommended actions presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schuster, seconded by Commissioner Zamparelli. All in favor?
Aye.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a roll call on this particular motion. So let's start with Commissioner Zatar. Aye. Okay. Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Commissioner Zamparelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Schuster?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Chairman Parisi, aye. Unanimous, carries. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presence.
Good luck.
Get going.
I move that we close public hearings.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move that we open non-public hearings with, beginning with non-public hearing number 2025-0707, Twin Towers Chapel exterior work, 9967 West 144th.
Second.
In a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I see we have some petitioners here. If you would raise your right hand so we could swear you in, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you present tonight will be the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please say, "I do." I do. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would just, for the record, your name, your position, and your address.
Robert West, Client Solutions Manager for Elite Exteriors, and last part was address?
Address, yes. Business
Yeah,
address
oh,
is
business, oh, okay, 226 Northwest Avenue, Elmhurst, Illinois.
Okay, and sir?
My name is Miko. I am the owner of the Elite Exteriors. Same address.
Okay. Thank you so much. And comments or questions or?
So biggest comment is you're going to see representation that we've already submitted to Haley over here in regards to what our plan is for the Twin Towers and the restoration work based on an insurance claim. Biggest thing that we did want to address to you guys right here and now is because of the historic preservation of that building, the scope of work does include only 2 sides of painting. Our biggest question to you is if that is something that you would allow, knowing that potentially that would change the exterior of the building from preservation standpoint, from a landmark standpoint, because right now that is all that is quoted for from an insurance standpoint, which this is, right? And so if you guys are okay with that, then obviously that's something that we will do as.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Staff?
All right, thank you. I would like to begin by respectfully requesting that the staff report be accepted into the record as written and as presented during this meeting. The Twin Towers Chapel is seeking approval of a certificate of appropriateness for minor work on a landmark and contributing. The subject property is located at 9967 West 144th Street. It is within the Old Orland Historic District. It is also within the Downtown Planning District and the Old Orland Sub-District within the Comprehensive Plan, and it is designated as community and institutional use. The property is also designated as a landmark and contributing structure. The property is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This slide shows an image of the Downtown Planning District from the Comprehensive Plan. You can see here the property is bordered by primarily residential uses. And here is an image of the zoning map as well for reference. This is a recent aerial image of the property, which is located on the southeast corner of West Avenue and 144th Street. There are 2 buildings on the property, but the Twin Towers Chapel is the only landmark and contributing structure. Here are the current exterior photos of the building. To provide additional background on the chapel, it had been rehabilitated and maintained by the Old Orland Heritage Foundation over the years. So from 2013 to 2019, they obtained multiple certificates of appropriateness for maintenance work to repaint the siding on the chapel and front doors, repair stairwells in the foundation, and re-roof the 2 steeples, among other minor maintenance work. Overall, the building has been kept in good condition. The review and approval process for contributing structures and landmarks for minor work require Plan Commission and board approval, which is why we're here tonight. The petitioner is proposing minor work, which is defined as changes that do not have a substantial impact on the exterior appearance of the structure or site, including alterations, additions, or removal of exterior architectural elements such as doors, windows, fences, skylights, siding, exterior stairs, roofs, tuck pointing, etc. So the scope of work that's proposed for this project includes replacing the roof, gutters, and downspouts for the chapel, and they also propose to replace siding in certain areas, which I'll show in the next slide. And as the petitioner mentioned tonight, they are proposing to repaint 2 sides of the building. That is not referenced in the staff report, as this was just brought to my attention tonight, so this will have to be amended as well. But ultimately, this would be included in the certificate of appropriateness, as this would be part of the scope of work. So this would need to be amended as well. So these are photos of the roof shingles material that's proposed for the roof replacement on the chapel building. They propose to use Owens Corning shingles in the color Estate Gray. In addition to the roof replacement, they are also proposing to replace the gutters and downspouts in white. So all proposed work is intended as essentially maintenance to match the appearance of the existing structure. They're also proposing to replace the siding in certain areas where there is excessive damage due to weathering. These photos show the area where siding replacement is necessary. So this is a zoomed in photo of the top of the steeples of the towers, and you can see where the paint is chipping off of the siding. So the contractors propose to replace the siding here with an exact replacement to match the existing, so that there will be no change in appearance. So for the staff recommended action regarding case number 2025-0707, also known as Twin Towers exterior work, staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated September 11, 2025, and staff recommends the Plan Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness. And the recommended motion regarding case number 2025-0707, also known as Twin Towers exterior work, I move to approve as follows. And this concludes staff presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Haley, can you clarify whether staff is asking for the motion to be amended within this current case with the updated information and considered tonight for a recommendation, or will it have to be amended after the commission considers this action?
Well, at this point, staff recommends the Plan Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness which has not been written yet. So the Plan Commission could consider amending the motion for possibly
To direct staff to.
to direct staff to continue working with the petitioner to address the scope of work, to continue working with them possibly, I'm trying to think, before they advance to the board.
Do you have, one of my questions would be, does staff have clarity on what the proposed amendment would be and how it differs from the report as written? Whether it's just two sides of painting or what the,
Well, the two sides of painting are not in the report.
okay. But that is
So-
how the report would have to be amended for the certificate of appropriateness to be amended as the petitioner is saying now, correct?
Correct,
That's
if they
the
want,
change?
correct, if they want to do that, but they're also saying, they also don't want to paint only two sides of the building, they want to paint all four sides of the building. So that's why maybe we should amend the motion for them to continue to work with staff to revise the scope of work entirely before they advance to the Board of Trustees.
Yeah, why don't we take a 5-minute recess on this to see if there's a way that we can talk to the petitioner? Let me just make sure, there's nobody here. After this, there's only code amendments, right? Maybe we should take a 5-minute recess and see if we can get some clarity, because I want to make sure that the commission's recommendation, whatever it ends up being, is clear. And that if it needs to be, maybe it would be actually more efficient at the end of the day to consider alternatives like a short continuance or something like that, if that's needed, rather than pass it up and back.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman?
One second, please. But remember, in addition to being the Plan Commission, we've also taken on the responsibility of the Historic Commission. And my understanding, did I hear right that by painting two sides what did you say, would remove it from?
Realistically, everything that you guys have inside of your building codes underneath the historic district rights that specifically state that they have to match exactly to the prior condition of the building, that's the key preservation of it. If you do paint over two sides that have taken a 5-year gap between paintings last time, right, you will show a difference. There's no way to paint two sides.
Is that Joe? Joe, are you speaking?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Talk into the mic.
We're listening.
If you could speak directly into the mic, like put your mouth right next to the microphone, then you'd be more.
California.
Hello. So everything that we have read in regards to the historic preservation of the buildings in Orland Park, and especially anyone that falls directly under this preservation, states that the painting has to match exactly during any renovation of to what it previously was. If you do paint a building with 2 of 4 sides on it, there is no way to guarantee that they all 4 match. There's weathering, the thermal piece behind it, right? The sun hitting it for 5 years. But we have to unfortunately work within the scope of work that is presented from the insurance. The reason we brought this to your attention is this is trying to tell us that it is okay to paint 2 of 4 sides. If you guys do not agree with that, we can address this with them, but it does have to be discussed at this board meeting.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Well, I just wanted to hear what he was saying. If I had a comment here, I think there's a difference between matching paint colors and non-matching paint colors. And I don't know if the code says we can match a sun-facing building. That was probably never the intention of the code. But I'm throwing my 2 cents in here a little bit here earlier now, but some of it's a little more complicated, the fact about matching.
Would you ever paint 2 sides of your house and leave 2 sides? Like, would anybody ever paint 2 sides of a building and expect it to match? That's, I guess, really where it comes into.
Well,
You would never
Mr.
be
Chairman?
My understanding is that the insurance will only allow for you to pay 2 sides. But
Yes.
if this commission or this body required you to paint all 4 sides, would you think that in that case that the insurance will approve it?
Yes, ordinance and law coverage is a part of
Okay,
their
that's
endorsement.
it's important to know.
Yeah.
Commissioner Schuster?
My question is, to clarify, you're not stating exactly, but implying that painting only 2 sides will remove the historic preservation status of the building? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that your codes require them to be done this way to maintain that preservation status, right? You want that building to not lose its integrity by having two sides painted and two sides not painted, right? That's why all of the stipulations are in place, right? Replace it with previously what was there. If you do only paint two sides, you will have two tones of paint on there.
Okay, I would like the attorney and the staff to clarify, maybe not tonight, but to clarify, whether painting two sides of the building will, under our code, remove it as an historic building. That's pretty important with what we do tonight, having the answer to that question. Or
It goes against our policy. Our policy is for the building to match. And it preserves historic appearance. And you're going to have a mid-century building by only painting two sides.
Well,
Which doesn't preserve our historic mission.
It seems to me if we were to require all four sides to be painted, it would match. And we would kind of just cut to the chase and get it done.
Mr. Chairman, may I say
Mr.
something?
Zamparelli, please.
Thank you. Robert, I'm assuming that you mentioned this to the church, correct?
We did. We also mentioned it directly to the insurance, but they said under their own investigation that they determined that that was not required by you guys, which is why we're kind of here.
You need us to say, hey, yes, it's required, then they'll
Correct.
cough up the cash.
Go right to
So
them and-
we're doing your bidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
All right, so, I mean, I'm assuming now you're gonna set up the scaffolding for this. It can't be that much more money. I'm looking at these pictures, just go around. Am I correct in that assumption?
Not significantly amount of money, but the church shouldn't necessarily be responsible for that from our understanding, right? That's why they have the coverage that they do. So that's why we present it to you guys. If you guys allow it, then we will do it because we're not gonna go to the church and ask for that, so.
Excuse me, staff, Carrie, did you have?
I was wondering if you'd be open to reopening the floor to have a resident speak, because they have experience with insurance, like the insurance side of things.
I mean, our business has nothing to do with insurance. Our business has to do with what the mission of the historical code requires. And whether or not the insurance covers it is not our problem. The insurance is our problem. Our jurisdiction and what we require from the code perspective.
And what were you suggesting again, Carrie?
If you'd be open to reopening the floor to a resident to be able to speak.
Well,
Yes.
We never called for public comment yet.
We haven't, no, but, yeah.
Yes, we haven't.
But it probably wouldn't be a bad time. We have a public comment.
I have a question, real quick.
Wait. No, okay.
You don't have to.
No, go ahead. Come on up.
No, come on up.
Let me just swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you present tonight will be the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Then,
My name is Dina Lawrence. I'm speaking as a resident of the Village of Orland Park. I had a recent experience with insurance company and damage, and one thing I learned from the insurance company is if there is a village requirement, ordinance, et cetera, then the insurance must cover that item related to a repair. Something for consideration. I'm not a lawyer.
it's okay, and those of you who don't know, but Ms. Lawrence is a village trustee. And thank you for your comment.
I don't want to usurp my term and not to circumvent, I have a historic house in Lamont. It's an American Foursquare. And it's a beautiful home. And 3 years ago, when Lamont had the derecho, the enclosed porch, which I was going to ask you a question about, which is clapboard, got hit. And it does not have to cover it. It has to cover it if you have that as an option in your insurance. And not all have it. I had it, and Lamont fought me for 7 months, but and the company we work for, whatever, I mean, my personal part, I guess doesn't matter, but there was a lot of whether or not it is code or not code. So we don't need to go knee deep in the woods, but not to circumvent Dina, it isn't in every policy. It does depend on your individual policy.
And it happens to be
I
in there.
did have it, but not everybody has that.
But it is
You
in
need an
your,
endorsement that says law and ordinance, and that usually kicks in an additional 10% regardless of damages found to the property.
I'm gonna go closer to the mic.
yeah, please.
Law and ordinance coverage is what you would need on your policy. It's an actual endorsement on there, and it'll usually kick in additional 10% of any required codes to address situations in which, say, you open a roof and there's no ice and water shield underneath there, right? Or you don't have a gutter apron. Those are required by your building codes, right? So law and ordinance covers you in case, because the insurance technically only has to pay for what is there currently. It covers you for that additional offset damages.
Does their policy have that?
Not every policy has.
No,
you have
the
to-
church's policy.
Yes,
It does have that.
yes.
Good.
Which is why we need
Well,
to hear
that's-
from you guys.
Sure.
And then we're good.
Sure, no, I understood. Commissioner Paul?
So you need us to tell you you have to, so that you can go to the insurance and say, they made me. and
We
then
need to
the
require
insurance
it.
company has
Yes.
to pay it.
Yes.
We have to stay in our lane.
Okay, so that's what this is. Basically, if we
have to stay in
interpret the
our
rules that you have to do this, and we tell you you have to do this, then you go to the insurance company, and then they have to pay for it.
We are the historical.
Let me clarify, and Haley, just double check me if I'm sure. This is considered minor, minor work, but it does, this commission is sitting as a recommending body, correct? It's gonna go to the board as well?
Correct, and I also do have an amended motion if you would like to hear it as well.
Perfect. When we get there, I'm sure we will appreciate that. So yes, the question would be whether we recommend to the board approval and whether that approval will encompass a recommendation that the board require the painting of all four sides of the building. We'll add that to the recommendation on the certificate of appropriateness.
That would be my preference.
Can I jump in on that?
Mine too.
That building, there's 6 sides on on this steeple. There's 6 sides, not 4.
Well, facade,
Yeah. No, I mean.
do you mean
yeah.
facade sides?
All sides.
They're gonna look at it from an elevation standpoint, so 4 elevations to your property, right? Front, right, left, and rear.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Good question. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Dan, anything?
With the painting, I assume that covers like what's white and then kind of the trim color as well?
yes, it would be encompassing of the whole property to be repainted and not just patched.
Gotcha. What is your, like, after it's should you paint all 4 sides, when would the next, like, when do you have to paint it again? Is that gonna last 10 years, 15 years, in your opinion?
Okay, the main thing, maybe let's start with this one. When we went for the inspection over there with the insurance adjuster, we found out there is a lead behind the paint. And that's how it started, everything with the repainting.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What did you say? I
It's
did
lead,
not.
it has lead paint.
It was lead paint.
Yeah, 1898 or whatever. I'm thinking probably was.
Okay.
So currently, the scope of work asks us to peel off 2 layers of paint and then only repaint those 2 sides that lead was found.
Okay. All righty. Commissioner Zamparelli, you've already had your
I
say?
am ready. Thank you. I just put a mint in my mouth. But
Spit it out.
you're gonna replace some of the cedar up there, right? Those are like little cedar.
100%.
They're rotten or just beat up?
Both. They are, some of them they beat up from the hair, some of them just wear and tear from the age.
A percentage of how many? How much? 25% of them? Give or take. I mean, the reason I'm asking is because when you're dealing with lead, you'd almost be better off just pulling all that off and just re-cedering the whole thing, would you not?
100%. If the insurance carrier is willing to pay for that, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's what makes sense to me. I mean, matching it up, and I'm looking at some of these pictures, not so much. Okay,
100%.
well, that's pretty much where I stand. I think that if you're gonna do it, I think we're gonna probably make a good decision here, get this done right. I don't like to do it half-assed, so good luck. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Nugent?
So a couple clarifications, and some of them I'm going to ask for the record, but Haley, between what you spoke, what's in the report, what's in our printed report, what's in their estimate, and their testimony, we have inconsistencies. So just to be clarified, we've said things like we're replacing siding. This is about the historic nature of it. How much siding is being replaced? Right now, as far as I'm aware, that property is 100% wood assuming it's all cedar, correct?
Correct.
So when we say siding, we need to clarify, and how much of the cedar siding, not the shakes, how much of the cedar siding on the four sides, so excluding the top part of the steeple, how much of that are you replacing?
They
Because you've
did-
indicated in your estimate,
I'm sorry they didn't cover any of that, so that only was covered, those, scallop shakes, you know?
Scallop shakes were replaced, but when it comes to the actual cedar wood, that's where they expect us to scrape the 2 layers of paint off and paint 2 sides of the building, basically directional from the storm, right, where the storm was hit, those 2 sides.
So the cedar will be scraped and repainted.
That's a whole different thing,
on the
but yes,
chapel's
yes.
estimate for the siding from your company, it says remove and replace cedar siding. The clapboard siding is probably top 2 of the historic elements of this property. So are you taking off the 100-year-old cedar siding and not putting it back? Is the original clapboard going back on, are you taking any clapboard off?
No, scallop siding, the cedar siding that's on there.
Okay,
Up high.
so when it says remove and replace cedar siding, that's only the scallops?
Yeah, it's only on the top of the towers.
I don't think the scale, this isn't cedar, is it?
You're saying the scallops are cedar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the new material will be cedar?
yeah.
Okay, well, that's cedar.
No, I know, this, down below.
That's the clapboard.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're leaving the clapboard, and the dispute with the clapboard is that they claim that 2 sides of it are lead.
Scraped and painted, yeah, 2 sides.
So even on the 2 twin towers, hence the name, clapboard siding remains.
Yeah,
Okay, so the only insulation wrap is on the scallop
yes,
ornamentation.
right.
Okay, and nothing against your estimate, it's not my field, it's $500,000. The word minor has to do with just whether or not we're changing the historic nature of the property, and there's almost no change. That's the minor word, right? This is a
Correct.
project, it's a big deal.
Correct, and the estimate does include both buildings on the property, so that, yeah, that could be why too.
Okay, I'm just doing it for the historic aspect of it. On the flashings, and when you guys talk about replacing it, is it currently aluminum, and you're going to aluminum? There's no copper or any other material?
Nothing that we found out right now was the copper.
So it's aluminum to aluminum? Okay. And then the gutters are what material now?
The gutter is gonna be detached and reset, that's for what they pay for.
You're putting the same gutters back
That's
on?
what they did, yeah, that's what they pay for, detach and reset.
Okay. And so so literally 2 sides of this siding you would not touch? You would do nothing?
As right now, yes, that's why we over here.
And the other 2, as far as the painting process, because it's lead, you got to go through a lead abatement process?
Correct.
And remove that and whatever lead standards you have, and then it'd be all new paint back to bare wood. But you're keeping, except for obviously if you find infestation, whatever, you're gonna keep all the cedar that is not damaged. Okay, I'm good.
Thank you, Commissioner Nugent. Commissioner Schussler?
We don't have that many historic buildings in Orland Park. I'm in favor of any motion that preserves the historic status of the building.
Thank you. Yeah, and I do agree with Commissioner Schussler, and I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
this whole side.
No problem. I started it earlier, and I don't think I could finish. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Loud and clear. I hear you fine.
Hey, there.
Extra.
So I'm a little nervous about this one. It seems like, we're trying to help with the insurance claim. I assume this is a, hailstorm claim, is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Yes,
It's a hailstorm claim, okay. So frankly speaking, I don't think, the building will lose its historic status, over what side of the building is repainted or what side of the building is not repainted. That's my opinion. I think it is a historic building in our village, and so we can say a historic building in our village.
But you don't know that, but you don't know that.
I'm sorry.
But you can't guarantee that.
It's his opinion, that's right, that's his opinion.
That's your opinion. I mean, it is a possibility if they just went and they only did two sides, I mean, you know, inside of what, with your reference to what's within our responsibilities and everything, it's also where, you know, it's part of our responsibility to retain historic status. Did we lose you, Joe?
No, I just want to go back and forth. I think that we're trying to figure out if we're, you know, maybe you can have that discussion. If it's store building right now and we direct someone to paint, or we allow someone to paint two sides of it, or we then going to call it not a historic building. Probably over this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it's not, you know, I see it not as our reasoning,
Maybe this is my opinion. We don't have to go back and forth with it. I just wanted to say my comments.
No, and I appreciate it. It's why there's seven of us.
Here's my opinion. If I buy a plastic car and there's a ding on it in the mail, and insurance is going to fix the D and blend in the paint, and of course I want the entire car to be painted, the insurance is all going to tell me that they're not paying for it, and the rest of the car I have to pay out of pocket. But they'll fix the ding and they'll blend in and bottom the damage. Now, this battle with the insurance company is not our battle, it's not our policy, it's not our business. And that's my opinion on there. I think that, you know, we need to direct the building owner to, and the building owner, my opinion, should be a petitioner here, to do what we think preserve the historic status. Now, we think painting all four sides of the building is going to preserve the historic status, and we push that forward, and they don't get that approved by the insurance, then they need to paint all four sides of the building and come out of pocket to do so. We're not going to go back and forth if the insurance doesn't cover it. And so the decision here is important because it sets precedent. If we say you need to paint all four sides and then let it go through, are we then just going to let them paint two sides?
No, and just to clarify that the owner of the building is well aware that our intentions of this and knows that if we come to you guys with the expectation that we're presenting two of four sides being painted and you've determined that not to be the case, yes, there is precedent in Illinois across it, but if by chance the insurance does deny it for some unforeseen reason, then yes, they are aware that we would still have to paint four sides.
What we determined today is not that NOVR, but the insurance provider approves. And so if we say you're going to paint all four sides to preserve the historic status, and the insurance doesn't cover it, then they still need to paint all four sides.
Will four sides?
Yes. So that's why we're kind of saying, my comment is, we should keep the insurance out of our discussion, and our discussion should truly be what we believe preserves the historic status.
If I can real quick, we are not asking you guys to determine this from an insurance standpoint, right? We are just asking if you guys believe that painting two sides brings a devaluation of that property, right? If the preservation of it, the historic value of it, but any building painted two sides would be devalued. And there is precedent in Illinois where this took place, but once again, we have to approach Orland Park and have, hey, are you guys okay with this or not? And then we address that with the insurance.
Well, let me ask you this. First of all, I don't feel that the conversation we had, I don't think our goal was to save the church the money to paint the other two sides. I think the conversation was we wanted to make sure we preserve its historic status. My question to petitioner is, if this went unamended, would the church be going ahead and painting all four sides, or would they just paint two?
No, he said they'd paint four.
If you guys address it and say that it has to be.
No, if we don't say that.
No, then realistically, we're gonna go with what the insurance piece says, right? Because that is.
And you would only paint two sides?
Yes, because it's really not about the dollar amount that you guys approve, right? We're not asking you guys to approve.
We're not approving a
anything for
dollar
that.
amount.
Exactly. We're asking you guys if we believe that it's a devaluation of that historic building by only painting two sides of the four in the community.
Understood. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Any other comments from my other commissioners?
Perhaps it'll clarify a lot of things if we hear the recommended staff motion that she's prepared there. That might answer a lot of our questions. Could you read that? Haley, read the motion that you're suggesting that the Plan Commission approve? She said she had an amended motion that.
You have an amended motion?
I do.
Before you do, I have one more commissioner with a question. Commissioner
Absolutely.
Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so I just want to make sure. So we got the insurance part squared away, and I don't really care about insurance. We're
Yeah,
not
you guys are not.
adjusters. That's none of our business.
Yep.
Okay, the idea of painting 4 sides versus 2 per ordinance. What's the requirement? Now, I understand, is it that the paint matches? Is that the rule?
That's what it says.
That's the rule. So however it happens that the paint matches, that's good. If the paint doesn't match, then that's a problem. Am I on the right track here? Okay.
Excuse me, our attorney here.
So the rule is that the paint has to match. It's not about 2 sides or 4 sides. Am I correct?
Yeah, so all materials used are supposed to match on buildings, and then the paint is supposed to withstand a 25-year weather period as well.
Okay.
That's in our design standards.
Because I get it, with historical buildings, I mean, you want to keep them you want to keep the integrity as much as you can, but roofs don't last 100 years.
Yeah.
Siding, paint doesn't last 100 years, and you got to continuously change this stuff, especially if there's damage. But even if there's not, there's only lasts so long. Okay, so is there a way for the paint to match without painting 4 sides?
You would have to weather it by 5 years, and I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have a color that they're addressing, right? The color that
Yes.
was initially painted to it. And then you're gonna, from 5-year span of time, expect it to look the same. And it's just not.
Because it seems like our direction here is the colors have to match.
Yeah.
You,
Okay.
the church, the insurance company, that sounds like it's for you guys to figure out. We're saying that when it's all said and done, the colors have to match.
Yeah.
We just don't want to end it up that, you guys gonna say, let's do it 2 sides, and you guys gonna come and have a final, inspection, and you're gonna tell me, no, it doesn't match. What's next?
And our way of assuring that they match
Yeah.
is by requiring all 4 sides.
And that would be to
painted.
do
But we had a comment from our attorney. Ann, did you have something?
I was going to cite to the section in the code that discusses the design standards in the Old Orland Historic District for historic structures, which is 6209F, deals with siding, brick, and trim. Not only does it say materials for siding, brick, and trim should match and be compatible in character, color, and texture with the original, we also have a requirement that specifically light paint colors should be used for the siding that will not conceal the shadow lines of the narrow clapboards and the decorative trim. Painted wood trim is preferred with simple flat trim for doors and windows. And throughout, there are numerous design standards, including in the sections regarding windows, porches, and other trim that specify that all the paint should match. I also just want to comment that the certificate of appropriateness standard is not necessarily specifically tied to the preservation or loss of historic status. It's about what the village feels is appropriate to preserve the character, which may go beyond a minimum standard of what is acceptable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have, staff, did you amend the motion? Or did you have a suggestion?
We have a recommendation. Yes, we do.
And your recommendation is?
I apologize.
Yes, it's similar to the existing one, so I wanted to pull it up just for reference. So we have the staff recommended action, and then adding on to that with the condition that the entire building is repainted, and then also for the recommended motion, instead of as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case, it could be as amended during this Plan Commission meeting. So the same first half of the recommended motion, but at the end, you could say as amended during this Plan Commission meeting. And you could also add a condition. If you would like them to paint the building, you could say with the condition that the entire building is repainted, or you could say with the condition that all 4 sides of the building is repainted, however you want to word that.
We were talking about the 4 sides.
Right.
Why don't we take a break and let Ann give us a motion that's specific rather than you can do or you can do, you know?
That's fine, I can do that.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
I'll write it out, just give me just a second.
Yeah, okay. Seems like a,
Sorry, guys.
No, that's.
no, nothing to be
fine,
sorry
we'll
about.
do it.
Thank you for being as specific as you were.
Chairman, once she's in it, can I ask one question of staff?
Of course.
Marcus or Carrie, only because you were only here longer. The Lady Mansion, across the street, probably, I think, qualifies as our most significant Victorian in the historic district. I don't think anyone else, I think they're considered number 1. We allowed them and their insurance claim to go to Hardy Board, did we not?
You go here?
And when they were here, they were spending about $180,000. The Levy Mansion on the corner, we approved Hardy Board, did we not?
I believe we did, but that was because of it was like the same color and style on the building, correct? I
They
believe you
even
might have
took
worked
off
on that.
Clapper, but we allowed them to put on Hardy Board. I'm just, as a point of note, what everyone's references.
Yeah, that one's a contributing structure. It's not like a National Register of Historic Places or anything like that. So we would allow like that minor
No, they-
change, which
so
is
that
why it
status
went
is
to
only
Plan
for-
Commission.
Because I know after we did all the studies, they get our first tier. They're considered, I think they're considered our most historic house. But they don't have national? Is this the only thing that has national?
No, this property does, but also the John Humphrey House does.
Oh, and John Humphrey, right. But Levy doesn't. That's the
Correct.
Victorian on the corner across the street from them? Okay, so that's why we allowed that to go to Hardy Board?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we table this to the end of the meeting and proceed with the rest of the agenda while the attorney writes up the motion.
Well, she's got to guide us on that.
I'm reading it off there, I'm sorry.
I retyped it up, yeah.
Well, we're just about there,
Yeah,
actually.
let me just pull up, I'll pull up the staff report on
Yeah, we are there.
All right, I withdraw my motion then. Trying to give you more time.
I know, I'm sorry, but if they
Sorry.
take it away.
No, that's okay. It's, just want us to remember, we're more than just, the planning commission. We get now the historic designations and everything comes under our purview as well. So it's a necessary discussion to have had.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, Commissioner Zamparelli.
I just want to put my 2 cents in. I don't really like to get in the middle of an insurance, claim. I don't think that is our privy. But I'll say that if I were an outsider driving into Orland Park and I noticed a building that was historical and it was only half painted, I would wonder what's going on.
Right.
That would
And I
puzzle
don't
me.
feel, as I said previously, I don't feel we're making a decision based on an insurance claim or based on a financial obligation on the part of the church.
That's where I was going.
We're making our decision just based on, we have our
Well, what I was going to say was historical. I think in a historical, because I've got a very old home, and I do paint what needs to be painted. I don't paint the whole,
Right.
However, when it is an historical reference,
Difference.
I think that's the difference. That's where
what
we
we're,
should.
and that's why we're requiring, regardless of who pays for it.
Exactly. All right.
Thank you. No, it's a good clarification.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
And it looks.
Mr. Chairman, that's exactly what my thought was. I mean, I just want to make it very clear that the petitioner, whether they lose or win this insurance battle, they still have to pay all 4 sides of that. That's the direction we're considering to be historic preservation.
Correct.
I think we're all on the same page.
We're on the same page then.
Okay, who's gonna make my motion?
Oh, hurry it up. I'm kidding.
You have good handwriting?
You wanna do it?
Yeah.
No.
I will.
Okay, Nick will do it, but let me read this first. So I'm gonna read into the record the amended staff recommended action. Regarding case number 2025-0707, also known as Twin Towers exterior work, staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated 9/11/2025. And staff recommends the Plan Commission recommend approval of a certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the entire building is repainted. So here's the motion.
Thank you. Just one second. I saw the petitioner indicated, did you want to say something?
No.
Because once we make our, yeah, that's
He was
it.
asking
Yeah,
something else,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, I'm going to make a motion. Regarding case number 2025-0707, also known as Twin Towers exterior work, staff recommends to, the motion, I move to approve the staff recommended action as amended during the presentation and as read into the record, which our attorney just read into the record.
Second.
And I have a second by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez.
Aye.
Commissioner Paul.
Aye.
Chairman Parisi, aye. Commissioner Schuessler.
Aye.
Commissioner Schubert. Why did I say that?
Nugent.
Nugent.
Aye.
Commissioner Zapparelli.
Aye.
It's your fault, Ed, with that. Sorry. Chairman Parisi, aye.
Wait.
And Commissioner Zatar. Aye. Aye, so it's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you for the discussion, everybody. And thanks. And thank you for being here to clarify things for us. We appreciate it.
So what is gonna be next step? What we gonna
Goes
receive?
before the board.
Are we gonna receive an email, a letter from you guys? What is
It
recommendation?
goes before the board's the next, yes.
You can talk to,
Yes,
discuss
and
with
since it's,
staff about next
since
steps.
it's unanimous, it'll go right to the board. Okay?
Remember, we're gonna be watching, do it right.
Yeah. We're gonna look at that paint. Okay,
I'm with the adjusting portion, no.
okay. Well, here it is. Okay, I move that we close public hearing number 2025-0707, and that we open public hearing number 2025-0619, proposed land development code amendment, special uses for restaurants within 300 feet of residential parcels.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Staff.
I'd like to begin by requesting that the staff report be entered into the record as written and as presented. The overarching goal for this amendment is to allow restaurants as permitted uses if certain criteria are met. In the Land Development Code, many of the non-residential zoning districts require special use permits for restaurants that are located within 300 feet of a residential parcel. Many such restaurants are located in strip malls with other restaurants and/or replace previously approved restaurants in the same tenant space. So the goal for this amendment is to allow these restaurants to become permitted uses and not be classified as a special use, requiring special use approvals. So to give us a bit of perspective, we mapped all the restaurants in the village. There's a total of about 230 restaurants, and the number of restaurants within 300 feet of a residential parcel is about 30. So we're talking about 13% of the restaurants that are being affected by this special use requirement. So we kind of split the restaurants into two types: standalone restaurants and restaurants within an existing shopping center. And for restaurants within an existing shopping center, the current approval process requires special use permit approvals for all restaurants, except those moving into a space with an active special use permit. So the proposed approval process that we're proposing right now will allow all restaurants to be permitted uses as long as they don't have a drive-through or outdoor seating. So any restaurant with a drive-through or outdoor seating will require a special use approval. Same thing, we're looking at restaurants, standalone restaurants, similar criteria for what's existing and what's being proposed here. And again, any restaurants with outdoor seating and drive-throughs will be considered as special uses. We did go back and look at all the special use permits that were given to restaurants that were located in a shopping center. We went back to 2019. We have about 9 cases. And we looked at if any of those approvals had any special conditions attached to them. And typically, we found none. So the conditions were all generic in nature. They were like meet building code requirements, just make sure that garbage enclosure requirements are met. So we found that we did not go in and attach any special conditions. So they were we were treating them as permitted uses. And there was a comment earlier when this came up as a discussion item with the board that maybe public was being denied an opportunity to comment because if we're removing these restaurants from a special use permit process, then there's no public hearing for them. And we went back and looked at meeting minutes, and of the last 9 public hearings that were held for restaurants, public participation was only in one of them, and that was, there was only one comment, and that comment was about outdoor dining. So both of these kind of lead us to believe that restaurants should be classified as permitted uses in these districts and don't need to actually go through the special use permit approval if they don't have outdoor seating or a drive-through. We looked at the pros and cons of this amendment. Definitely, there's going to be a quicker timeline for businesses to open up their doors, a savings of 2 to 3 months on an average. And then there's going to be savings on staff review time as well for the 2 to 3 months per project. There's going to be cost savings for the business owners, $500 to $1,000, because there's not going to be the special use permit fee and the escrow fees for the legal and outside review fees. Plan Commission and the Board of Trustees will continue to have regulatory input for new standalone restaurants and for restaurants with drive-thrus and outdoor seating. Development Services will continue to review and approve appearance reviews for restaurants occupying an existing or a vacant restaurant space and for any proposed exterior changes. We discussed that, the one negative was public comment period will not be open for restaurants if they're permitted use, and, historically we've seen minimum public participation anyway, so we feel that that's not such a big concern here. So this is just gives a gist of the proposed code amendment. So basically, any restaurant within 300 feet of a residential parcel with no drive-through or outdoor seating, what used to be special uses in the Biz, Core, ORI, BCD, and Old Orland districts, they changed from special use to permitted uses. And then these 2 columns talk about restaurants with drive-through and outdoor seating. They are special uses. They'll continue to be special uses. Any concerns about pollution, in terms of noise, odors, fumes, liquid waste, all of that is already currently regulated by different sections of the Land Development Code. So we feel that there are safeguards in place in the codes to protect against, any potential violations on this front. So in this, staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated September 16th, 2025. And staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the Land Development Code amendment as presented in the staff report dated September 16th, 2025. This concludes staff presentation.
Thank you. Do any of my commissioners wish to make a comment? Anything on this?
Yes.
Commissioner Kuessler.
This is an excellent proposal from the staff. When you're a trustee, as our sole occupant in the audience is, or which I used to be, or you're a planning commission member, it's easy to forget that the requirements that we put on businesses all have a dollar figure attached to them, and we make it difficult if we have requirements that are just check the box type thing that are time consuming. They cost money to hire sometimes experts and other times in delay that causes delay in getting the business open. It's easy to forget that. This is one of those instances where staff has identified some requirements that are put on businesses that really don't make a lot of sense. When there's a restaurant going into a shopping center, when there's been a restaurant in that shopping center before, why put them through the expense and aggravation of another special use when we know special use in that shopping center has been approved already? So I commend the staff for identifying this and putting it before us, and I'm all in favor of it.
Thank you. Commissioner Zamparelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Chairman Schuessler. I thought, wow,
Vice
excellent
Chairman.
job, nice and clear, but the fact that you're saving 2 to 3 months, beautiful. $500 to $1,000, great, but there's attorney fees in there that we're saving the business. So anything we can do to help businesses, because I think that they're just having a really tough time. Kudos to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Just, it's nice to see a unit of government reducing.
Paul.
Oh, thank you, sorry. It's nice to see a unit of government reducing red tape, because you don't see that a whole lot. And, obviously, if we're dealing with something that involves alcohol or that, is a later night, later hours, there are already ordinances and regulations that would cover that. So that would have been my only concern, but we kind of have that already covered anyway.
Okay. Commissioner Nugent.
I'm addressing all of you and Mr. Zatar, Commissioner Zatar, but the last three, the Indian Deli at 158th and Wolf, the Coffee Cafe at 155th and 94th Avenue, and the popcorn shop, slightly different with the ice cream shop at Peace Market, but the popcorn shop on 151st. Commissioner Zatar and I, not that everyone else didn't, but we had those discussions each time, and we raised successively in those three the increase, and Steve was at the third, and we said, Steve, where are we going with this? It's about time. Staff needs to make a recommendation. We need to get it before the board. Steve looked like it was Christmas. He was excited. Yes, we're working on that. And then when I saw him at the 171st and Wolf meeting, I said, we're going to see that soon? He said, yes. So I didn't realize it was this soon. But no, it needed to come, and we said any efficiencies, but we've all recognized it for a while. But we did have 6 within 1 year, and it just reconfirmed that we're spending time and money and delay in opening. In fact, I don't think the popcorn shop is open, and the coffee shop hasn't opened yet either, right?
I think they're under review for building permits.
Yeah, so we need to move them even more, so that costs time. But I'm excited that you guys followed through on the challenge and you guys got it done. I know it was on your to-do list, but Steve seemed really excited after the third one, and Mr. Zatar was bringing it up, and we were doing it like, why are we putting these people through this? And so we recognized it. But thank you for getting it done.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, I too.
Yeah, I'll just say thanks to Mr. Nugent to commend it has been frustrating for 6 years talking about this, And I think that one of the benefits we should note is that there are a lot of businesses that just see the word special use permit and literally run away from us. And so maybe now they won't run away, right? And if we can figure out any other type of revenue we can reduce, we might get more businesses to run towards us as opposed to run away from us. So thank you for the back.
It's a good comment, Commissioner Zatar. Appreciate it. Commissioner Sanchez or anything?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Commissioner Paul? No? Well, I agree too. I think, one of our responsibilities outside of our responsibilities to, village codes and ordinances and everything is our responsibility to our community and to our business members. And I think this is a move in the right direction. It's a good motion. And as Commissioner, I don't know, was it Commissioner Nugent or Commissioner Zatar said, we find other areas that we can create some efficiency such as this, we should pursue them. So I'm all in favor of this. So.
And if I could just add one minor point to what I said too. So as an example though, you guys did a phenomenal job clearing it out. when the cafe by Banana Cafe, what's the coffee cafe's business, I forget. So we asked them and we challenged them, because we understand the differences, because we keep talking about it. So at the podium, we said, hey, you realize that right now this does not include a drive-through? He's like, yeah, but if it goes well, maybe I can do that, because it's a coffee shop. And I'm like, hey, right now this does not include outdoor dining, because obviously it affects the walkway there. We've talked about that on that several. He's like, oh, maybe I can later. So I know you're gonna do this, but like that gentleman, I would love to have his cafe succeed. But like in my head, and you know, I can't make a decision now, but with the townhomes behind it, I even mentioned it to Mayor Dodge when I was speaking with it once. I don't have a proposal in front of me. I would vote against that. I'm not gonna vote to have a drive-through behind that cafe ever. I mean, I have to wait for it. I can't prejudge, but it would take a lot to convince me to put a drive-through in front of 30-year-old townhomes that have never had a drive-through behind them and having a coffee drive-through in their backyard. So as long as these people understand that, hey, you may not get it now, but you also may not get it later. But you guys are obviously very efficient at that, but that's all I wanted to add. So there are examples where we will give them a drive-through. Drive-throughs don't belong next to townhouse complexes.
And as was pointed out in the illustrations we received, that they did have a drive-through or outside seating.
Shovel Cafe, that's one on 151st.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in cases with our change like that, it would require to come back through us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Good.
Mr. Chairman? Make a motion.
Commissioner Schuessler.
Regarding case number 2025-0619, move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
It's the same motion every time.
Motion by Commissioner Schuessler, seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Zatar?
Give him another.
Commissioner Zamparelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Chairman Parisi? Aye. I said Commissioner Paul, didn't I?
No.
Oh, Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Okay,
I vote aye, too.
yes. And that is unanimous. Thank you. Good discussion. I move we close public hearing, number 2025-619.
Second.
All in favor? Oh. No, this was, this was a public hearing.
It was the COA that was not.
That's okay. All righty. I move that we open public hearing number 2025-0746, Land Development Code Amendment, allow outdoor fireplaces in all zoning districts.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Staff?
Yeah, so I'd like to begin by requesting that the staff report is entered into the record as written. So the purpose of this amendment is to allow outdoor fireplaces within all zoning districts in the village. Right now, outdoor fireplaces are currently prohibited in the Village Center District as well as the General Business District. So this amendment would allow outdoor fireplaces within all zoning districts in rear yards. Unless it's a restaurant, then it can be permitted elsewhere on site as the code currently reads. So all proposed outdoor fireplaces are still subject to applicable village codes, including the International Building Code and International Fire Code regulations, so no change there. And also non-residential and multifamily applications for an outdoor fireplace are still required to apply for an appearance review. So also the same process as before. So the interpretation of this code has been maybe not followed fully consistently throughout the village. Since we do have a few examples of approved outdoor fireplaces where they were technically supposed to be prohibited. So two residential examples are up on the screen. 9750 on the Park and Residences of Orland Park Crossing are both in the VCD district and were both approved with common area fireplaces or fire pits on their original plans. And all permits were obtained for these projects. Same thing with commercial properties. So a couple examples would be like Baracos on 179th and Wolf Road. They applied for an appearance review in 2012 for their fireplace on their patio, which was approved by staff and permits were obtained. And additionally, this came to my attention when Weber Grill was seeking to put an outdoor fireplace on their patio. We have conditioned that approval that the fireplace can only be installed if there is a code amendment that would allow it in the future. So this slide has the proposed amendment text. As you can see, there's really no change except allowing it within the general business district and the village center district, and then just a minor formatting for the 5 feet with the symbol instead of the parentheses. So staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated September 12th. And staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve this land development code as presented in the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. I see that this is now saying that we will allow outdoor fireplaces in all zoning districts. Now, is there, I'm just curious, is there reference in our fire code that addresses the size and, you know, the magnitude of?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, because that's important.
Yes, so the International Fire Code has its own setbacks and regulations, as well as the International Building Code.
Right.
Our code says a minimum of 5 feet from the lot line, but I believe it's at least 15 feet from a building from the International Building Code.
Okay, which we abide by.
Correct.
Okay, just thought I'd need to ask that question. Okay, well, thank you. My fellow commissioners. Commissioner Zamparelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's great. I like my outdoor fire pit, so.
Thank you.
You know, especially with Weber coming in. I'm glad you had the insight on that, you know, how to think about that, because that would be silly. That's a great place to have an outdoor fire pit.
Agreed.
So, that's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Nugent.
No, we set the national standard on encouraging outdoor dining during COVID, and this is, you know, it's a trend that was always there, and it's been, you know, expanded during COVID. People love being outside, and we need to make sure we can accommodate this as often as we can.
Thank you. Commissioner Schuessler.
Another good example of streamlining the code. Good job.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanchez?
I'm also pro fireplace, so.
Okay, Commissioner Paul.
Getting rid of some red tape was good, getting rid of more is better.
I agree with my fellow commissioners. Another good move. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. Commissioner Zatar. I didn't see you up there. Thank you, Commissioner Zatar. Now I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Schuessler.
Regarding case number 2025-0746, also known as Land Development Code Amendment, allow outdoor fireplaces in all zoning districts. I move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
We have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you.
You know what?
I move that we close public hearing number 2025-0746.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move that we close our hearings and we adjourn at 8:23 p.m.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Zamparelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.